Good evening, brothers. How you guys doing? Hope you're well. Let me get some chat up here on the screen. Cool. Cool. How is everybody tonight? I'm doing pretty good. It's been a busy day. Figured I was going to get a little bit more on this Contemptor. We're always working on this damn Contemptor, aren't we? Hi Mike, hi Steel Rain, how you doing? Good to see you guys. 1 second, my YouTube streaming isn't playing nice. Go live. Well, sir, good evening. Stephen Buss, good evening. Left-handed texting, how you guys doing? Oh, come on, YouTube. Maybe we're going now. Alright, let me just pop the chat out to the other screen so I can actually see it. Cool. Alright. I think I'm going to start with some Agric Earthshade on this guy. I was feeling like... Oh no, I was going to do a couple of other bits first. There was a couple of wings and like one little lapel thing I missed, so we'll do them first real quick. So Celestial Grey, Dawnstone, maybe like Lead Belcher. Is this it? Yeah, and what was the last one I'd probably need? White. Yeah, I use this white. Acrylic model white. Do you have any guides that you recommended to start live streaming? I mean, you just point a camera at your face and you start streaming, I guess. To start live streaming, I mean, I guess in terms of like if you want to do live streaming of miniatures, you just need a camera that points down the way, I guess, like I have here, and then a camera that points at you. Probably you could get away with just one camera. Steel Rain is a great tactics question. Alright, I'm ready for a great tactics question. What do we do about Grey Knight Interceptor spam? Had to deal with that today. I mean, Soul Warden's going to help a little bit. Having some denies is also going to help a little bit. Neither of those things are going to be great in my experience. I think Grey Knights are a very, very strong place right now. Tell me how you got on. I assume that you got trounced or something. I'm trying to figure out what brush I'm going to use. I'm going to be doing a little bit of washing. I'm going to use maybe this one. A small layer brush. That'll probably work. This is a new brush. It's one of these synthetic ones, so... These synthetic ones are okay from Games Workshop. I feel they're better than the regular brushes that Games Workshop do, but they don't last that long, I feel like. Hey, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Actrail. Actrail, I hope you're well. Yeah, we're going to be doing some painting, for sure. And, yeah, next couple of weeks is going to be difficult for me, guys, so if you don't see any videos or you don't see me for a live stream or something, the reason is we are having our baby on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. We're having our baby, so I'll try and get a video out next week, but I don't know what's going to happen beyond that, because the reason that we're having the baby a bit early is there's something not quite right with our baby. So yeah, how much of a disruption that is to my everyday life is sort of unknown. We got a spammer, Vog.fuy. You can get out of the chat, thank you very much. No one's interested in your dumb links. I always get spammers in here. They always put comments in YouTube as well, and I do my best to delete them if somebody puts like a stupid comment in. But There's probably a bot, to be honest. They always end up coming back. Okay. But yeah, I'm feeling good about this Contemptor. I feel like he's on the home stretch now. I haven't done his weapon arms yet, but we'll get to them. The actual body is on this home stretch. Sangregard were introduced in the Battle Sector game. Did you check it out? I have not, because I'm wanting to stream it when my PC's actually good. If you were here in the last live stream, I was going over how crap my PC is, and trust me, it's pretty crap. So once I get an upgrade, I will stream. Or if I manage to get a copy for like the PlayStation, because I've got PlayStation and I can stream from PlayStation. I've never done it, but apparently you can do it. Alright, so there's some little wings on his leg that I missed last time, so I'm just gonna try and do these real quick. Oh, thanks Highland Phoenix. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. Hopefully everything goes well. I mean, we had some good meetings with the doctors this week, but yeah, I'm gonna try and not let it collide too much with the channel, but I mean, I guess like in terms of like live games, probably not going to be any live games on a Monday for a few weeks. Who knows exactly what it's gonna mean, I guess. I'm hoping they'll still be able to do like a few painting streams, but like my 2-year-old will be in another room, so like if she wakes up in the middle of a painting stream, I'll just have to go AFK for like 30 minutes. There's nothing I can do about it, I guess. I suppose, do you mean use Elgato or something to turn the camera into your computer? And congrats on the baby news. Hope everything is okay. Thanks, Stephen. I use OBS. I don't know all that much about OBS. I mean, I use OBS for both. Like, you can just basically add input devices, so it's pretty simple. You just add some input devices, like your cameras, and you can set up hotkeys and stuff, just flick between the input devices, but I'm not even that advanced. I just click everything. Maybe at some point I should get a little bit more advanced, but for the moment, when I change cameras or when I change scenes, I just click things. And if you never used OBS, I'd say like just YouTube. Just go on YouTube and search how to use OBS, and like, or beginner's guide to OBS might be a better one to search for, but there's loads of people using OBS for like streaming video games, and streaming Warhammer is a little easier because you don't need so many overlays and stuff. Yeah, I appreciate that, Highland Feeding. I you know, the channel's doing the best it's ever done, I guess. You know, we just passed 8,000 subscribers, and it's like, I really want to keep the momentum going. But I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna have to dial it back for a couple of weeks. Hopefully it's not gonna impact too many things. And I actually kind of had already prepped like this Friday's video. Like I was gonna talk about my game against Admech, and I'd already done like a bunch of prep for that, and made like a bunch of slides and stuff. So hopefully that means that, you know, I'll still get a video out on Friday. And Friday videos are usually what help bring this channel to life, because people always tune in to find out the tactics stuff we're talking Fridays, right? Hey John, should Games Workshop rework some of the Blood Angels Codex supplement like the Chaos Space Marine did in last edition? I mean, maybe we'll get an Army of Renowned. I mean, I'm not holding my breath. I think just... I mean, Necrons released the same time as us, right? And everybody thought like Necrons weren't in a good place, and Necrons recently got like a bunch of their units made core. So maybe they could make a bunch of the Blood Angel stuff that should have been core. It would help a little bit, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I think that Space Marines kind of were almost done too early in 9th edition, so maybe maybe they'll circle back on us at the start of 10th, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It seems like Games Workshop are behind on all the releases. You know, like I think they just pushed some releases that were due for this year into next year. So if they're behind in all the releases, then I guess the question is, we're probably just going to have to play with what we've got for the foreseeable future. That's why I'm trying to make what we've got work, right? That's why I've been painting these Volkite Contemptors, etc, etc. Like, it's what we've got access to. It's the strongest things we can use, so I guess use them and try and make the army work as best as it can, even if it isn't super competitive. Our dreadnoughts need new rules, our special characters need new rules, Death Company getting 5+, feel no pain. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, the points costs last year in chapter approved for us, in my opinion, were super harsh. I didn't think Sanguinary Guard needed to go up in points. If anything, I was convinced they would maybe go down in points, and I thought some of our other stuff would go down in points as well. So, so what am I trying to say here? That chapter approved this year better not put us up more points, maybe even bring some of our stuff down in points. But I mean, the recent sort of nerf to Admech and Drukhari and Orcs, I mean, that's going to help, right? I mean, I was kind of already, with my list, I was kind of already beating those armies, or at least giving them a good run for their money. Fucking Nuts says, sorry, I read that as fucking nuts. Nucking Fut says, I think Games Workshop did go a little weak on Blood Angels in the beginning of 9th in fear of either balancing everything else around stuff, or just hitting their new creation with the nerf hammer. Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right. I think that they were worried that they would make stuff at the beginning of the edition too strong, so they kind of stepped back a bit. But like since then, it's kind of been the opposite. You know, every new codex that's come out has felt like they are now much stronger than we are. But I think there's ways you can make our army work. I really do. I mean, if it wasn't for that Grey Knights game, I would have won a GT with the army, you know. And in that GT, I beat Orcs, I beat Admech, and I beat that crazy Scions list as well. So I actually feel like I played some of the... Well, the guy that played the Scions came second. I beat him. The guy that played the Orcs finished pretty high as well. I beat him. So, I mean, I was pleased enough with my overall performance, you know, like in terms of like playing against the difficult armies. So I think we can sort of, and I say sort of, compete. You have to play pretty well, but if you're playing well, I think we can sort of compete. I played Death Guard on Thursday and won 7888 largely because of tips I've gotten from watching this channel. Assault Centurions coming in from Strategic Reserve for the MVP. That's awesome. We don't often hear Assault Centurions coming in from reserve, but yeah, I mean, I guess if they make their charge, they're just going to crush anything what they need to charge, right? And I'm glad the tips on the channel help, brother. I mean, that's kind of why that's kind of the whole point of the channel. I'll tell you a funny story is, some of you guys obviously know I play the guys over on the Plastic Crackheads channel. Colin and Andrew were away at a grand tournament, and Colin ended up playing a game against a Blood Angels player at the grand tournament. Obviously, like, there's a Blood Angels player I've never met before, but he said that he said to Colin that he watched Blood Angels Commander and he ended up beating Colin. And I honestly laughed out loud because I was like, wow, so Colin, you have to now play me by proxy when you go to GTs that I'm not even at, because people are like taking my strategies and like using them to beat you. And he was like, yeah, you know, he was basically like, you bastard. And I was like, that's actually brilliant. That's made my day. That's so funny. A 4+ on Sanguinary Guard. Yeah. Something better on Sanguinary Guard. I mean, the Power Fist could be free. They could be cheaper in points. Something would be nice for the Sanguinary Guard. I think everybody agrees. I really don't think they're worth 32 points per model. I just think was harsh. I mean, if you compare them to like an Inceptor squad from the Grey Knights, or is it an Intercessor squad? God, I only played Grey Knights that one time, and yeah, I did look at some of their units after the battle, and I think it's not the Strike Squad, but I mean the Strike Squad are friggin' good for the points that you pay for them anyway. But I think it was like the Interceptor Squad where they can like they can basically fly. They just basically teleport from A to B. So they have like a 12-inch move. But yeah, when I played Grey Knight Steel Rain, it was a smite spam that absolutely killed me. You know, I actually think that like, I know that they put smite up by 1 every time you cast it. I wonder if it should go up by 2. Because if you have an army that can do like 6 smites and reliably cast 6 smites and have a bunch of other powers as well, God, it feels kind of broken. I mean, even with like Soul Warden in a key position to like shrug on 5s, it still feels broken. Because I had Soul Warden next to one of my dreads, and he basically, I can't remember if he killed the dread or took it super low, but the guy was complaining. He was like, how many 5-up shrugs are you gonna make? And I was like, how many mortal wounds are you gonna put out? Like, stop moaning about my 5-up shrugs when you can put out like 20 mortal wounds. Like, what the hell? Or maybe there should just be a cap in the psychic phase, like once you've done 10 mortal wounds, that's it, you can't do any more. Like, do you really need to be able to do like 20 mortal wounds every psychic phase? I don't know. Has your opinion changed on suppressors? I mean, changed from what? Like, I don't think anyone thought they were really that strong. I tried them in a couple of games and thought they were average. I still think they're average. The fact that you can't move and shoot, I don't remember where did we put them in the tier list? Where did we put them in the tier list? Are you looking at it, or did you look at it recently, Oscar? They wanted to stop Blood Angels merely spamming 3 units of Sanguinary Guard every time. GW knows that's pretty much the only decent units Blood Angels thematically have. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I've posted a list on the Tau video for you to review when there's space on the Sunday show. No rush. I know you've got a load of painting. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I will add it to the queue whenever I see it. I take it you just posted it recently, because I didn't see any lists today. I was on the comment section earlier. These little wings everywhere are really tricky to paint. Oh, you've sent me some beakies as well. You need to tell me what you want me to send you back. Someone else sent me 5 beakies, so I have 5 to do 1 squad, so I got 1 more squad to get sorted. So the other guy was looking for some transfers, and I only just found my transfer sheet like an hour before the stream, because I was like, I actually don't know where my transfers are since I moved house. I got so many boxes of Warhammer, so I was like, right, I found my transfers, so that's something. But yeah, you need to let me know what you want for the beaks, because I will definitely send you something. It probably won't be this week though, because we're having our baby on Tuesday, so I'm going to be a little bit busy this week. But I will get something out to you. Thank you so much for sending them. I really appreciate it. I really... You know, I often... Sometimes people come into the stream and ask, like, you know, hey, I want to paint this unit this way, exactly, etc., etc. And I always try and say to people, like, we put suppressors in low B. I think they probably are still low B. I mean... You can kind of make them work, I suppose, if you have, like, a captain around them, right, Oscar? That's going to let them reroll 1s or something, but, like... It's just... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I have 100 points left over in my army, would I take suppressors? I'd probably take, like, another squad of incursors, or, I honestly prefer the Eliminators with the las fusils, just because I feel like the las fusils have like very decent strength and can be a bit of a threat against armor, whereas like I don't think suppressors have that. I think it's like if suppressors had a way to move and not take the -1 to hit, maybe. But yeah. Good evening, Mikey. How you doing? Sangre Guard head and shoulder is going to convert some tactical models into Sangard, so no rush. I think I have some heads. Shoulders, maybe? I'll have to check, but yeah, I can definitely get some heads in the post to you, so thank you so much for those beaks. Oh, I've butchered that, haven't I? I hate painting really thin lines of white. What a pain in the arse. I went all over that gold there. It's actually congrats. So what is everybody working on tonight? What is everybody's plans? I'm hanging out for like maybe 2 hours-ish. Just gonna... I want to get the wash done on this Contemptor tonight. And that's where I'm going next. I'm gonna do a bit of Agrax Earthshade washing into all the recesses, and then I'm almost thinking this Contemptor is in a good enough spot to like just move on to the guns and call them done. Finishing the Sangre Guard tonight, nice. Lost 251 has become a member. Thank you, brother. I think. Does it? I can't quite read this. Hold on. Oh, a new member. Okay, a new member. Thank you so much. I thought the name ringed a bell. Maybe you've been in the chat before. I thought it was maybe a renewal of a previous membership, but no, nonetheless, thank you so much for becoming a member. It's much appreciated. Members keep the channel going. Can you charge without line of sight? Yes, 100%. You just can't fire Overwatch. In fact, you kind of, when you arrive from Deep Strike, if there's a place you could put your models in obscuring position, that's probably for the best, because if you're obscured, then they can't shoot you with Overwatch. Well, unless they have indirect fire, of course, right? But yeah, charging from an obscuring position is absolutely fine. Tomorrow I should finish putting together my Vanguard veterans. Finally need to put away models as we're starting to be decorating. Oh, cool. I've kind of got my models a little bit more organized in this new house. Which feels nice, because my models were a mess for so long in that old house. Alright, I'm going to try and repaint this tiny little streak of white. And not go over all the other colors. There we go. Alright, cool. Close. We are close to getting on washing. I resubbed from a new account. Well, thank you very much, Lost. Appreciate it. Mikey has a game against Drukhari on Monday and was meant to play them a month ago, but caught coronavirus from my kids. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that you're okay now. We've been lucky here, none of us have had coronavirus yet, but good luck in your game against Drukhari. Remember, open up their transports if you can, and also Volcons are brilliant against Drukhari's transports. So if you've got any Volcons, you should bring them. Great to see a full melee Blood Angels army doing well at Leicester GT. Mr. Box is back. Good to see the faction is doing great. I mean, I don't know about the faction doing great. I think some high-skilled players are pulling in like really good tournament results, but if you're talking about Stephen Box, then of course, I mean, Stephen runs a giant YouTube channel and also an academy for 40k, so he is a very, 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 very high skill player, arguably probably one of the highest skill players in the world, right? So, overall, I don't know if I feel like Blood Angels tournament placings have been super strong in the last 6 months. I'd actually probably disagree and say they've been low. You know, I took 100 paints out of my cupboard, but I think I'm missing one of the ones that I need. But I mean, if, you know, it is nice to see when Blood Angels melee lists do well. I just don't know if I agree that your average player can do super well with them right now, because I think a lot of average players have actually been really struggling. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Stephen is playing Blood Angels as well. I thought he had been moved on to maybe Sisters or something like that, but maybe he just fancied a change, I guess. Howdy, John. How do you paint your Death Company? Because I could use the advice from my Black Templars. I paint them with Fenrisian Grey, I believe it is. So I just paint them all black and then basically edge highlight every armor panel with Fenrisian Grey. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it works, I'd say. You know when you've used these GW pots, right? And you always get this situation where you try and close the pot and there's paint all in the rim, right? Look at this pot and it just won't close properly. It's a real pain in the arse when you get the pot like this. So you got some options, right? You could like open the pot, you'd take like your snips or something, you'd try and dig in there and like get all that crusted paint out of there. What you can also do is, hopefully I can do it here, is if you just grab the top of the pot and try and flip it inside out. I'm gonna get paint everywhere on my fingers, hold on. You know what, it's actually kind of easier to do this if you separate the pot from it. So I'm just going to cut this. Alright, so you just have the lid of the pot. Flip it inside out like this. God damn it. Got it. Almost got it. Yeah, I got it. Look at that. All that crusted paint just comes out just like that. I'll put that somewhere for the bin later, I guess. Got plenty of paint on my fingers, mind. But the paint lid will close now. Let me just wipe some of this off. Do you know what? I'm going to wash this off, actually. I'll be right back. You know, every time I try and do that on stream, I end up making a ton of mess. But there you go. Pot closes perfectly now, huh? All right, cool. Let me catch up with the chat. Yeah, Finrizzi and Grey for the Death Company. The faction is not doing great, but I'm happy to see 100% melee Blood Angels list. I mean, if you like the 100% melee lists, you know, more power to you. I used to run 100% in 8th edition. I don't know if I'll go back to 100%, honestly. I kind of enjoy having the backup from the shooting. It kind of... I really like the Whirlwind as well. I always feel like I get value out of that Whirlwind. So, you know, fair enough, if you love 100% melee, go for it, but I'm not sure I'm going to go back. We'll see. Why do you think average players struggle with Blood Angels? Overly aggressive or something else? I mean, there's just too many counters to the melee army right now. And also the melee army, the full melee build is very terrain dependent. So if you get a map that doesn't have the right terrain or doesn't have enough terrain, I guess would be the better analogy. If you don't have enough terrain on the map, and your units get all left like exposed against like a very powerful shooting army, you can just lose the game. You can lose the game in like one turn because you can lose too many. I mean, 2 wound marines tend to not survive very often, right? Like, I don't think the changes they made to marines is kind of weird because they gave them all 2 wounds except the Sanguinary Guard, who already had 2 wounds. And Blood Angels really rely heavily on Sanguinary Guard, so yeah, I don't know why they didn't get... Like, I think at the time I thought when all the other marines went to 2 wounds, I was like, oh, surely Sanguinary Guard go to 3 wounds. But yeah, they just didn't, I guess. I will say, coming from a shooting army, I struggled with Blood Angel's position and getting my melee troops in without getting shredded. Yeah, and that's probably the exact reason that a lot of people struggle. It isn't always the easiest to get your melee troops in without getting shredded, and if you're a less experienced player, that can obviously be difficult, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's just difficult in general sometimes on certain terrains or certain boards or certain maps. So yeah, I've kind of grown really fond of my split army. The split army reminds me more about when I first played Blood Angels, because when I first played Blood Angels, it was like 2nd edition, right? And in 2nd edition, every Marine chapter had a ton of tactical squads. So I used to run tons of tactical squads because everybody ran tactical squads because the model range was much smaller. And I guess that's how I grew up on Blood Angels, with tactical squads and stuff, and I legitimately enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I guess Games Workshop, yeah, I mean, with paint droppers you don't get this, but this is a good amount of wasted paint, isn't it? Like, look at how much wasted paint that is. And I mean, that lid did actually close reasonably decently, so yeah. I'm working on my Death Company right now. Sprayed them Chaos Black, highlighted them with Rakarth Flesh and a hint of Vallejo White. Experiment with Null and Oil washes to get them good and grim dark. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're doing Death Company a little bit more grim dark than I do. I just edge highlight every armor piece with like Finrizzi and Grey. It's very simple. It takes a while though, because I'm pretty slow at edge highlighting. Alright, I need a black wash next, I think. I love some shooting on my list. Myself got to have it, I think. Yeah, I mean, I've always run Dreadnoughts in Blood Angel's army list. Like, if I think back to like 2nd edition, I used to run Dreadnoughts with like twin las cannons. They were pretty good. And ever since the Redemptors have come out, I've kind of run Redemptor Dreadnoughts. So yeah, I don't know if we end up going back to a place where like Blood Angels can be super competitive with all melee. I mean, I've got the troops. I've done a bunch of painting of like Vanguard veterans with lightning claws. I've got like 20 Sanguinary Guard now. Probably got like 30 Death Company, so I could do it, but I don't know. I like the mix. I've been enjoying the mix more. Like when I first moved to the mixed army, like it was a reluctant move, but over time it's sort of grown on me, I guess. I don't know how else you would say it. It really has felt like it's the mixed battle army has grown on me quite a lot. But yeah, I mean, probably grown on me just because my win rate has been so good with it. Like, my win rates have been good before, but never, you know, like... So I play one game a week, and then I've been at 2 tournaments this year, and I think I've honestly lost maybe like 3 games the entire year. And I mean, people know what I'm bringing, right? Like, I bring the same stuff every week, give or take. Obviously some little changes. So if people want to try and counter it, they can try and counter it all they want, you know, because it's like, I do kind of bring the same stuff. Alright, I'm going to water down some Warpstone Green. I'm going to put it over these wreaths that I washed with Null Oil last week. The reason that I'm going to do that is because... Well, do you know what? I'm going to put some Null Oil on these ones. Just because the Null Oil darkens the green down a little bit more than I like. So I'm going to... But now that I realise I don't think I did these bits, I'm going to do these bits for now. Come back to that idea. Put the idea on ice. But I did, while I was out of the room washing my hands, I picked up the pot of paint that I needed, which was Praxi White. So, Agrax Earthshade, Praxi Bright, that's what's up on the menu next. I played V White Scars Ironclads this week. Being core with the Seismic Hammer is pretty sweet. I may pick one up. Yeah, the Seismic Hammer, I think, is the wrong weapon choice, James. I think you just want the... claw, right? The Chain Fist, actually, not the Seismic Hammer, because the Chain Fist doesn't take the -1 to hit. I'm going to pick up another brush, 1 second. So I bought a Games Workshop small dry brush, but I didn't like it. It wasn't small enough, so I made my own dry brush by cutting off the sides of both bits. So we have a much smaller dry brush section. So this is my small dry brush where I literally cut it to make it smaller. Yeah, I'm having a good weekend to end. Thanks for asking. Hope you are too, brother. Sadly, I'm still at work, says Rezio. Unlikely to get to catch a stream tonight. That's all, no problem. We all gotta work sometimes, right? How do Blade Angels stack up against other melee focused armies, do we think? Last I looked, our win-loss ratio was awful, even compared to other fighty armies. I think that where Blood Angels are right now, in my opinion, is our speed is our biggest strength. So we need to use our speed to dictate the charges. Like, we need to charge the enemy because our units don't survive if we get charged. We need to use our speed to, like, kind of dictate what the enemy can engage into. And I think this is why people are struggling to play Blood Angels, I guess, because if you don't know these things and if you don't use them right, the melee army list is super hard to play. It's super hard to play, I guess. Alright. I'm going to take some of this white off this brush. Alright, and then I'm just going to try and catch some of these wings here. But yeah, I mean, it's been a thing. Like, I think if you look at the tournament results this year, Blood Angels have been way down there, like 30-40% win rate or something. I assume that most of the people are still trying to use like the all melee builds and just getting crushed, because I think it is a very, very high skill build and it's very difficult to play right at the moment. I think there's some armies that just flat out counter it, like Death Guard are super strong against the Blood Angels melee build. Like, there's two things that Death Guard have. They have that thing that makes everything fight last. I think it's called the Fetid Blight Spawn or something, and also it also says, the rule says, like, units do not count as charging. So that means, like, if you're a Blood Angels player, if you can't charge them because you know you're going to get hit first, but if you do charge them anyway, you don't get your +1 attack from Shock Assault, you don't get your +1 attack from Savage Echoes, you don't get your +1 to wound from Red Thirst. It's just absolutely brutal. And I actually don't know how you beat that with a Blood Angels melee army. Like, I've seen a couple of YouTubers, or I've seen a couple of battle reports on YouTube where like people just got crushed by it. It's just like it's I feel like it's really a hard counter to what Blood Angels do. And unfortunately it came in the codex after we got our codexes, so there's very, you know, there's no, it's just a rule that kind of hard counters us. I mean, I guess not too many. Death Guard is maybe a little, like, Death Guard has maybe fallen down the pecking order a little bit in terms of competitiveness. But I mean, if you come up against that, I really do think you're going to get brutalized, and I don't know if there's much you can do against it. Maybe I shouldn't have started playing with Blood Angels. I mean, it all goes around. We might not be the strongest right now, but it'll come back. And, you know, like, I don't feel like we're not strong. I think that we're just, I just think that you can't, I think it's just better to not focus on just the melee. Like, if you focus just on the melee, it makes it much, much more difficult. If you take a mix like I do, I think you can win plenty games, and you can do really well even if you aren't the strongest player. I think there's legitimate strength in the mixed armies right now. Or the balanced armies, I guess. I would point out most factions' best way to win is with some sort of mobility. Blood Angels actually have advantage vs many in this way. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say, like, if you run a mixed army list, I think you can win games just fine. Like I said, I don't think we're weak if you run a mixed army list. We're probably, yeah, I mean, I think we're fine. Just run a mixed list. You know, I guess some people come in and say like stuff like in the chat and stuff, oh, buff this, buff that. I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get some buffs, don't get me wrong, but I think if you run a mixed list, you can do just absolutely fine. Blood Angels is touted as a newbie army? Well, we certainly aren't right now, that's for sure, Adam. Not sure if my all death company list up is tomorrow, but won the most thematic army and spanked all full boss deploy Ultramarine and an all Terminator Black Legion list. Congrats, James. You were at a tournament, right? Or was it someone else? Or was it someone else that was at a tournament this week? My brain's all over the place this week, so you have to forgive me. We're having a baby on Tuesday morning, by the way, so I feel like I've been... Yeah, I feel like my brain's just been like mush. Like, I don't know if we're ready for the baby. It's coming 4 weeks early. My wife's going to be in hospital for a while. It's, yeah, my brain has just been bit mush the last few days, I guess. I don't know if I'm getting any paint off this brush onto these at this moment in time. Maybe the tiniest little bit. Trying to not put on too much because there's a very real chance that you could just overpower all these as well. Some of these tiny little wings are a real pain to do. These are difficult to do even on like Sangre Guard wings, and I feel like Sangre Guard wings are about 5 times larger than these ones. I play Blood Angels, Tau, and Bugs, and love Blood Angel the most. I did start with them though, so that's why I love them more. A little 5-man tournament. Well, congrats on your couple of wins, James. I wouldn't have expected All Death Company to be winning that one, but I've been playing since 1995. I don't know if you can see behind me. I have the 2nd edition box somewhere behind me on this shelf. On the top there, you see it? Is it just off camera? No, I think you can see it. Sort of like, just look behind my brush, just up here. There's your 2nd edition box set. That was from the early 90s, that was for sure. What was I doing? Yeah, I was just gonna tidy up this a tiny bit. Alright. Alright, I'm doing pin washing on this guy now. I think we're good. I've spent so long on this guy now. I think it's time to give him his... I'm going to give him Agrax Earthshade, and this will basically be his Grim Dark coat. Good luck for Tuesday. I appreciate that, brother. It'll be tricky. We'll see what happens. Alright, so people always ask me why I don't use Mephiston Red and I use Evil Sun Scarlet. So this is the precise reason I use Evil Sun Scarlet. So can you see my wash on this? Maybe I'll just move this a little bit. So here's my wash here. This is Agrax Earthshade. I got quite a lot of it there. I might even put a bit more. People also ask why I make squares. I have no idea why I make squares. I guess I'm very organized and make squares of paint. So this is my square of Agrax Earthshade here. And what I've done is this guy's obviously painted in Evil Sun Scarlet, the whole thing. Your boy turns 5 months old today. Congrats, man. My little girl turned 2 years old this month, and she's becoming her own little person. It's great. Alright, so this guy was obviously completely covered in Evil Sun Scarlet. So now what I will do is I will try and basically wash every recess with Agrax Earthshade, and obviously I'm going to make mistakes. As you can see here, there's mistakes. I go back on the mistakes afterwards and just clean them all up. So basically, like, I will basically, what I call this, I guess, is like a recess wash, or every raised panel, every hard edge, I will do this. And what it will mean is it'll still have sections where the model looks like quite bright and clean. It'll give the rest of the model sort of like a dark, grimy feel to it between all the armor joints and everything like that. And that's why I don't bother with edge highlighting for all my main battle line troops, I guess. we just do the recess watches of Agrax Earthshade, and I'll also take it like around all the edges, so like here. So it's kind of like the opposite of an edge highlight, where in the edge highlight you would be lightening the edges. I'll be darkening them all. Kind of like if you think that like this is the 41st millennium, there's going to be dirt and stuff in all these cracks and crannies, right? Because you don't know what planet they've been on. It's going to be dark, it's going to be dusty, etc, etc. So this takes me a while. I'll obviously need to dry afterwards. And it'll take me a while to clean it up as well afterwards, but I don't think it photographs as well as edge highlighting, but I mean I like the effect it gives. Greetings, Camille, good evening. I've been playing Blood Angel since the end of 4th edition, says Data, with a PDF codex. Yeah, I remember that PDF codex. That was we actually got a codex in White Dwarf one time, didn't we? You're not going to see that these days. But yeah, no, I had that PDF codex as well. Maybe not try and let it pull too heavily in some of these recesses, though. I play defensively and use shooting turns 1 and 2 and deep strike round 3 into locations where enemy is weakened. I build my list picking up 20 to 30% first and then the rest. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a very valid way, Clint, to play Blood Angels now. And I mean, that's essentially how I've been playing pretty much for the last year and a half now, maybe? Yeah, probably a year and a half. It was probably about September last year or something that I sort of had that switch, and that was when I made that switch. That's when my win rate went higher than it's ever been in my history of playing Blood Angels. I mean, I had good win rates in some previous editions, but that was when my win rate went really, really high when I made that switch. And yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that is just my playstyle now, and I enjoy that sort of reserved, you know, losing what you know you can afford to lose in turn 1 and 2, and then being prepared for the turn 3 Savage Echoes like Power Spike, but also having your dreads and stuff to pick up early game points, or, you know, kill those key enemy units early game, Clint, and I like that style so much. And finishing a Primaris Chapter Master on a bike, I love it. Congrats. I have a Primaris Chapter Master made for when they finally announce that. I really hope they let him have an Infernal Pistol and a Thunderhammer, because well, I mean, I'm sure you watch some of the games, Camille. You know that's my favorite, the Thunderhammer and Infernal Pistol. So I really hope they let the Primaris Chapter Master on a bike have that whenever they decide to release that. Sometimes when I'm painting the Agrax wash on as well, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'll just paint it anywhere. There's a little bit of rhyme and reason to the painting style, but if I'm not sure, I'll just make it up as I go, I guess. Finishing it, I'm such a newbie, I bought an 8th edition codex less than a month before 9th started. I mean, it's funny you say that. Every time I have a friend that like decides to get into the hobby, that's always what happens. They pick an army and like they get a codex, And then right after you get the codex, there are Games Workshop's like, hey, there's a new edition, and people are like, oh man, I literally just bought my first codex or something like that. So, I mean, that always happens, Matt. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But the thing that I like a lot about this recessed sort of paint style is you can tidy up very quickly with the original color you used to paint the model. Also, you don't need to be nearly as precise as you do when you're edge highlighting. It can kind of work for areas that maybe wouldn't normally expect to be edge highlighted. If you want to make something a bit more grim dark, you could just throw on a bit more wash. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty quick and simple style. But yeah, I'm supposed to be playing, well, I was supposed to be playing Gav on Monday night for, I guess it's like the semi-finals of the Plastic Crackheads tournament. I guess now we'll have to postpone that game. I'm hoping to do it the week after. And I guess if I win that, I believe Colin is in the final. Colin is running a Death Guard list with Volcon Contemptors for Death Guard, which I guess you don't see all that much of, but I'm sure it's quite strong because I think he said you can make them into plague weapons, so you can like hit on 2s, reroll 1s with the Volcons. Sorry, wound on 2s, reroll 1s, or something like that. So have you ever tried oil recess washes? I'm going to try them on my next batch to see how they turn out. Before letting loose on my Astreus. Do you know what? I've heard a lot of people talk about oil recess washes. I don't know what the difference is, honestly. And so the answer is no, I've not tried. I mean, it possibly, I imagine, is going to be a little bit thicker and possibly less runny. I actually really don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think if you control the amount of Agrax on your brush, you can sort of spread it around just to give that. That's all I'm really going for, is a bit of depth to the model, I guess. I'm a big fan of oils for pin washes. Much lower surface tension means you can be mega precise and cleanup is easier too. Fair enough. So maybe that's why people like it more, because you can be more precise. I've never used oil paints on the models, period. I mean, I only recently heard people even talk about oil washes. I think they're meant to give even more contrast than Agrax, and they run perfectly into recesses. Only issues, you need to thoroughly varnish each. Thoroughly varnish first, otherwise they eat the acrylic paint. Alright, okay. I did not know that they would eat the acrylic paint either, actually. Interesting. I mean, I varnish all my stuff. Because I drop my models all the time because I'm a klutz, I guess, and so I wouldn't have a problem, you know, doing it essentially after the varnish, I guess. Excuse me. So quite a few people use the oil washers effectively, it sounds like. Well, I just bought my first ever wet palette this year. But if you guys watch me, you'll know that like I'm definitely not the best painter. So I thought like buying the wet palette was going to help me step up my quality a little bit. And Lost has used it for his Gene Stealer Cult army to make it super gnarly. Yeah, gnarly is the way forward for 40k, isn't it? If you've got something that can make it look gnarly that's like a simple and easy technique to do, then you kind of want to just replicate it, I guess. I don't mind cleaning up the washes afterwards. I mean, I've been doing it for forever, it feels like, so I'm kind of used to it. Sometimes I'll clean it up just as much as I want though, right? You know, like the idea, you're right though, it is supposed to be grim dark, so sometimes like if the wash is reasonably accurate, I might leave it. I tend to varnish my models, but I'm never happy enough with the paint job. I mean, that's the thing, you have to just, at some point, Matt, you just have to bite the bullet and say, like, good enough is close enough, right? And that's actually a really difficult stage to get to, I guess. Like, if you're a new painter or a new hobbyist, like, when do you call a model done? Because the model will never be perfect. As much as you want it to be perfect, right? It will never be perfect. So I struggled with that to begin with as well. Like, when do you just say, like, this model is close enough that I think, like, you know, the paint job is good, or, you know, so my thought that I always try and go back to, like, is, oh, Sal84, thank you so much for subscribing, or following over on Twitch, appreciate it. My thought is I always go back to, is it battle ready? You know, like, so put it on the table, put it, I don't know, at least 12 inches from you, maybe more, like 24 inches from you, and look at it and think, like, does it look good 24 inches away, you know? And if it looks good enough 24 inches away that you, like, aren't going to be too picky with it, I guess, then I would say it's probably battle ready and it's good for varnish. And I feel like I've definitely varnished some things that I've not been 100% happy with. But I think the varnish is like a nice sort of closure step where you're like, right, I spent a lot of time on this. It's pretty good, so I can varnish it. And people are shouting in the chat that you can always paint a little bit over the varnish, and I've done that before when you've needed a touch up or something like that. So my advice would be get it as close as you can where you're pretty happy with it, I guess. And then make the call, because if you never finish a model, you'll have a one model army, right? So get it to a point where you're like, you're feeling pretty good about it. You feel like you put in as much effort as you possibly could. I mean, like, if you look at this guy, like, I've made a bunch of mistakes on him doing this wash. There's still some little details here and there that I didn't pick out that I didn't really notice beforehand. There's like there's tiny little details around his, like, midriff section. There's potentially even a wing section there, I guess. It could be a different color from red. I think probably what's going to happen though is, like, I'll finish this bit of I'll finish this. I'll look at it and I'll clean up any places where the wash got kind of way out of hand, and like it leaves a big nasty tide mark or anything like that. And then probably after that, what I'll do is I'll make a call. I'm like, is this guy going to get any transfers? I mean, he's got so many little details on him, I don't even know if there's going to be room for transfers, except maybe like one there, but like, you don't often put transfers on like the top panels of the dreadnoughts. So this guy almost can't get a transfer, so I'm possibly just going to be like, alright, this guy possibly just needs to go and get varnished then. But varnishing in Scotland at this time of year is also tricky as well, because like varnishing needs to be done when it's not super cold, and also the humidity, I believe, needs to be like less than 60% humidity. If you varnish when it's over 60% humidity, you leave yourself sometimes the varnish will like almost leave like a frosting effect on your models, like they've been covered in like snow, or it can make them go a bit white in places. So like sometimes I have a list on my phone where I create like a list of models that need varnished, or models that are ready for varnish, and then like wait for a nice day that's got the right humidity and stuff, and kind of do them all in a oneer. Sal, hello, I want to thank you for your Blood Angels content. It was my first army when I started the hobby 22 years ago, and it's still my favourite army. Nice, thank you for following, Sal. You can also follow us over on YouTube if you like the content that we do there. On YouTube I tend to do like pre-recorded stuff as well. But 22 years ago is probably similar to when I started, honestly, because I'm 38 now, and I think I started when I was about 15, so yeah, thanks for finding the channel, thank you for following, and yeah, that's all we do. Well, I say that's all we do. Occasionally I make videos about other shit, but for the most part it's Blood Angels based content, and yeah, we're here every week. I aim for about 2 hours per model for troops and about 10 hours per character vehicle. It forces me to be consistent then as well. And do you know what? I had some people say the same thing actually before Lost, in that like some people said like if they're going to do a squad of troops, they give themselves like 5 hours, and like what they can do in 5 hours is you know what they end up with, and that way, like you said, you get consistent results, and also you kind of can increase your speed by doing it that way. I don't limit myself in terms of time for any of my models. The way I see it is I spend a lot of money on this hobby, so you know, you can put in as much or as little effort as you want. That's similar to what Henry Cavill said on Graham Norton's last night, if anyone caught that. But yeah, if you've spent a lot of money on the models, then it's really up to you to decide how much effort goes into them. I feel like the models are expensive, and as such I like mine to look good, so I will, you know, I probably spend a little bit more than most people, but I am a good painter, so I always end up going back and forth between colors, and I mean I have improved a lot since I started, but I actually don't do that much creative stuff like this in my life. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I have a hugely creative gene or personality in terms of like that sort of stuff. The frosting thing, you can fix that by applying gloss varnish on top. It fills the gaps that the matte varnish causes, then matte varnish again. I've heard that you can over varnish it if you frost it, if you end up frosting it, but I never actually tried it myself. Luke says, is there any place for heavy intercessors or storm speeder in a fun list? I've just ordered one of the Christmas boxes. One of the storm speeders we said was less crap than the other ones in the tier list. I don't think they're technically horrible, and the heavy intercessors, again, I don't think they're technically horrible. I mean, I like intercessors a lot because I think intercessors like gel really, really well with what Blood Angels do and give a lot of options. But if you're just playing fun lists, then yeah, I think you can probably fit both of them reasonably easily. I mean, I think you could make heavy intercessors maybe work in a competitive list. It would be quite you'd probably have to do like quite a set strategy to make it work. And I mean, you can make it, you can probably carry any one unit, so you could probably carry one of those storm speeders as well, to a certain degree. Again, I don't think they're horrible units, the storm speeders. Or you could 3D print. Can you 3D print painted models? I don't think you can do that. Do you think your wife would let you name your kid after a Warhammer character? I don't know if I'd want to name him after a Warhammer character. I mean, I like Warhammer, but I mean, like, people will bully kids about anything, right? I think if you know, people will bully kids over like what their parents look like and stuff. I don't know if you just want to add ammunition to it for calling him like Dante or something, right? I mean, I know that, yeah, all the schools and stuff now probably say like, oh, there's no bullying, but the reality is that shit still happens, I'm sure of it. You could do a 500 army for 50 quid. Yeah, I mean, you should name your kid Jimmy Space. No. Yeah, I mean, I've got some 3D printed models. I don't have that many. I don't hate them. I mean, I can understand why people get them because the price difference is insane. But I mean, I guess, yeah, 3D printed is a bit of a contentious subject, I guess. I don't know how to... I don't think we can broach that very well. Like, it just... Some people are doing it, some people are not doing it. Some people are upset people are doing it, some people are upset that the price is... It's just a whole big mess, so probably just have to agree to not talk too much about 3D printing, I guess. There was some chapter approved leaks today though, apparently. So they are changing some of the primaries in chapter approved next year, so primaries will only give like 12 points now. Per turn as opposed to 15 like they do currently, and there'll be like a new element to the primary objective. And also, you might not be guaranteed your Battleforge command point. You might actually have to do something within the battlefield to get that Battleforge command point. So some interesting rumors and leaks coming out about competitive play next year, I guess. I mean, you say that, I suppose. There was a footballer, I think he played... I'm not clued up on all the footballers, but there is a footballer called Jesus that plays for Man City, right? So, like, I wonder, like... When he was a kid, would he have been bullied just because his name was Jesus? I think it's pronounced Jesus or something, but I mean, it's spelled Jesus. Alright, where do we still need to put some wash on this character? Because I feel like I've washed kind of the whole model. Couple of joints here and there maybe that still need, but this is a cool Redemptor. I like it. But yeah, like I said, there's a few bits on this model I've definitely missed, but I'm probably going to call it done because Jesus is a popular name in South America. Well, I didn't know that, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It all started because someone asked, do we want to name our kid after Warhammer? And I guess the answer is no. My wife knows what Blood Angels are. She knows that we battle. But I don't know if she knows literally anything else about the hobby. So she knows that we battle, she knows that we paint, and she knows that the Blood Angels are red. And I made her watch the first 3 episodes of Angels of Death. She knows nothing else about Warhammer beyond that, I guess. Kids all over Spain speaking world are named Jesus, so I guess it just depends if they grew up in Spain or Manchester. Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, like, maybe Jesus is a bad example. I don't know, I guess we're not going to name them the kid after Warhammer. I mean, I suppose that would be the same as naming it like after like a Star Wars character or something. Like, it's just not gonna. I'm sure. I mean, I know that like Daenerys was like a popular girl's name when Game of Thrones was coming out. I bet a bunch of people regret that now, considering how shit the final season of Game of Thrones was. If anyone enjoyed the final season, please let me know. But I've never read the books for Game of Thrones. I was really enjoying the TV show until we got to that final season, and then I was actually planning on watching like all the seasons again. I'd said to my wife, I was like, can we go back to the start and watch all of Game of Thrones again? She was like, yeah. And I was like, cool, well, let's finish this final season and then let's do that. Then we watched the final season. It was like, yeah, about starting Game of Thrones over again. Not interested at all. The final season for me was like a giant, I don't know, it was terrible. So yeah, I mean, imagine if you'd named your kid Daenerys or something like that, and then they come out with a season that's just absolutely tragic, and you'd be like, oh shit. It might even suck even more if you'd been named her that because you liked the books, because the TV show sort of just murdered all, right? So you're not going to name the kid Mephisto? I'm afraid not. I mean, maybe we could just name him Lord of Death, but yeah, let's not do that. What was Mephisto's name before he was Mephisto again? I forget. Brother... Oh, jeez, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Did it bring with a C? Can't remember. I tried to see if my wife fancied joining me in a game. The person I play most is our best friend's husband. Tried arguing and it was like a big board game. Flat no. I've recently rewatched Hornblower. Brilliant. What is Hornblower? Calistarius. Yeah, I thought it'd begin with a C. You're right, Calistarius, yeah. My lady tries to pretend to care when I talk about Warhammer, and I sometimes see her looking at models in Games Workshop and desperately trying to convince her to get involved, but she's not going for it. Do you know what? My wife painted a Necromunda gang. I kind of managed to get her to do a bit of the painting, and the re-release of Necromunda a few years back, she painted like the Esther gang. She didn't quite finish them, but I mean, they were like halfway done. But yeah, no, I never managed to get her into the gaming side of things yet. I think there's too many rules and She doesn't like games where you have to remember a million different rules, which you definitely have to do in Warhammer. Yeah, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not. I'll post. I'll post a pic, like, assuming that everything goes well on Tuesday, because we don't know if everything will go well yet. I'll post a picture up with a sensible name for our new baby when it happens on Tuesday. Alright. I'm probably just at the point now where I'm just going to get some red paint, and it'll be that my evil son Scarlet again, and try and find anywhere that this wash got a bit too thick and or looks a bit nasty. I'm just going to trim. I'm just going to try and tidy it up a little bit with the red. It's like Sharp, but the Royal. I gotta disappoint you and tell you that I've never watched Sharp. As much as I like Sean Bean, I bet you a lot of people have seen Sharp. I have never seen it. I'm not a huge television person. My wife always gets confused by this as well, because she's like, you know, she'll be saying like da 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 da, or, you know, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And I was like, nope, nope, nope. She's like, what did you do when you were a kid? I was like, I played Warhammer and I played video games. Like, I never watched television. Like, I still don't particularly like watching like, for me, television isn't really like a... Yeah, it's not really like a pastime for me, right? Like, I'll watch sports, like I like football, or like I'll watch the odd movie here and there, or I'll watch like a science fiction series. But like, if you just sit down to put the television on, like with no plan, like, I'm like, I'd rather be doing something. And yeah, so like I always would play video games, or I would always be doing Warhammer, so like television wasn't really a huge pastime of mine, I guess. Probably read books more than I would watch television. So yeah, there's shit. Well, my wife can't understand it. She'll always say like, "Oh, have you seen this movie?" I was like, "Nope." "Have you seen this?" "Nope." And she's like, "But it's a classic," and I was like, "Well, I've never seen it." I'll give you an example. Is Blues Brothers apparently is a classic movie. I think I watched Blues Brothers for the first time ever during lockdown. I actually quite enjoyed it. I probably enjoyed it more than I thought I would enjoy it. But yeah, like I just literally never seen the Blues Brothers. Another one, oh yeah, because my wife's always like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've never seen that. Because my wife is always saying to me, like every time we've got nothing to do, she's like, we should watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I was like, I've never seen, you know, I don't know why I would be excited. I don't know anything about Rocky Horror Picture Show, to be honest, but like, one or two Contemptors. I'm running 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts. I have all 4 Volkites here, just off camera. I'm basically going to be moving on to these next, Big Chief. Because I kind of just slapped like a few colors on the Contemptors so I could use them in an actual tournament, but like they weren't even close to finished. I just put some colors on them so I can use them in a tournament. What do you think the chances are GW will create some Junk Primaris units? I thought that they would have done that already in 8th edition, Luke. I really did. I do not know why they haven't done it already. What do I think the chances of them doing it are? Probably pretty high, because they like to sell models, right? And I think that if they did that, especially with the state that, like, Yeah, the odd Blood Angels player is doing really well at tournaments. I'd say, as far as I know, there's about 5 to 10 Blood Angels players worldwide that are doing well, like really well at tournaments, like top 5 finishes sort of. And then a lot of other people are struggling. Maybe it's more than 5, but it's not a huge amount of people that are doing amazing. I've heard Chris Chance has been doing okay. He struggled at his last tournament. I guess I just found out from chat earlier that Steven is playing Blood Angels again, so he did really well. Jack Harpster has done well. Junior has done well. I feel like I've done well. And then honestly, I haven't heard really anyone else on Blood Angels doing really well in tournaments. Maybe there is people that I don't know about, but I mean, I haven't heard of anyone winning a tournament or top 5 sort of Blood Angels finish. So why would they not release some jump pack units that all the people that are struggling a bit could buy? I mean, I would have thought they'd done that already, Luke, honestly. They have them already. They're called interceptors. I mean, interceptors are good. Don't get me wrong, I like interceptors. But they don't have melee weapons, and I think that's what people are after, right? Primaris jump pack units with melee weapons. And I mean, it would almost, at this point, it would almost make sense for them to just do a dedicated Blood Angels release first. Because Blood Angels are the faction that are desperately crying out for those Primaris jump units. So they could probably just do that first, and people would understand. I guess I don't know anything more than you guys. I don't have any sort of knowledge from Games Workshop. Maybe one day if the channel keeps growing I'll have knowledge, but right now, no, I got nothing to tell you. So, I think the only thing to say is, like, yeah, we can hope, and I think they probably should release something. I don't know when that would be, but I kind of think that they should. Oh, don't get red paint on the goal, John. Get it off there quick. Quick. Alright, cool. I have a big tournament coming up on the 19th. I really want to take the 9th, but the First Legion Terminators are calling my name for this one, says Big Chief. Fair enough. I mean, it's alright to bounce between armies, I think. I mean, I have that second army. I've never run my second army. Oh shit, don't drop the Dreadnought. Nothing broke, we're all good. I don't know if I managed to... Did I get the wash in there? I can't tell. Primaris Death... Jump Pack Primaris Death Company will be the only way anyone ever plays them. Yeah, you're right, Brent. Nobody's playing Primaris Death Company. It's funny that, you know, sometimes I think when I say stuff like that, like I've got no authority on the subject, but you know what? I actually have a bit of authority because I do like 4 or 5 army lists on the live show every Sunday. And we've been doing that live show now for about 15 months, and I want to say the amount of Primaris Death Company Marines we've seen from like people's submitted lists can honestly probably be counted on one hand. I mean, like, there's been a few people who are maybe newer to the hobby and are like, yeah, I'm going to try out me some Primaris Death Company, but like 99 lists out of 100 do not include Primaris Death Company. Which is sad, you know, like, so but Games Workshop completely missed the mark with that release, you know, like, that was a release that was supposed to be exciting and, like, just nobody bought it, so, I guess it's, yeah, like I said, just completely missed the mark on that one, I guess. Give Assault Intercessors jump packs done. Well, I mean, Assault Intercessors would be fun. I think if they had jump packs, it would certainly add a bit of interest to taking them, especially if, you know, like, if we had a troop choice that could have a jump pack, that'd be pretty cool. Inceptors are shooting though, there are no Primaris jump pack assault focused units, yeah. I mean, the unit that I thought they were going to do it with, honestly, was the Reavers, right? Because the Reavers had, they had the deep strike and they had the free movement over vertical terrain and they had a combat knife. And then this edition, they obviously completely missed the mark with the Reavers as well, because they could have had people play Reavers. If they'd given the Reavers combat knives -1 AP, I think people would have picked Reavers, or you might actually see some Reavers around. But because they left, they, like, I don't know what their thinking was. They gave the knife no changes, and they gave their bolt pistol -1 AP. I mean, you get so few attacks with a bolt pistol. The additional point of -1 on the bolt pistol felt like nothing, right? Like, I don't know what their logic behind that was, but it definitely felt like the wrong decision. I think if they'd given the knives -1 AP, so that once you get to Assault Doctrine they'd been a -2, I think that you would have seen a lot of Reavers. Because they're actually only 100 points per Reaver squad, and they do have that sort of nasty leadership debuff, and they have the odd sort of unique stratagem that can be used. So you wait for Death Company Intercessors with jump packs, run regular Death Company with jump packs, or Assault Intercessors. New to the channel says Mephas Test. Been out of touch with things since third, it's a big learning curve. Well, welcome back, Mephas Test. I am so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I think in the interim you probably run Firstborn Death Company with jump packs, because you get more weapon options, you get a longer Forlorn Fury, and they're just better in general. If you want to buy the models as well, I think you get more options in the box than the Primaris ones too. So yeah, Firstborn Death Company is the way forward. But I mean, I actually don't run any Death Company at the moment. If you're just back, you said from 3rd edition. I don't think they had Sanguinary Guard in 3rd edition. I don't remember Sanguinary Guard anyway in 3rd edition. I think they were more maybe like a 5th edition. I don't remember. Were Sanguinary Guard in 4th edition? I don't know. I feel like they are. John, is your music of choice? So I think if you're just back, you want to get you want to invest in some Sanguinary Guard. They are, like, arguably our most damaging unit, and they're very cool as well. You can paint them all sorts of colors, and I like to do mine in gold. But yeah, Sanguinary Guard are a good, fun unit to have. I almost think that every Blood Angels army at the moment should probably include some Sanguinary Guard. I include 10, 2 squads of 5 at the moment, and I like them. I like them a lot. My music is obviously royalty-free music, and you can get it on Streambeats. So if you go to streambeats.com, you can download all this music that I listen to while I paint, or you can stream it on, like, Spotify or whatever other streaming platform you use. But the music's all free, so it's just something that I use because if I try to play, like, popular music, my channel would get hit with, like, copyright strikes and stuff, and I don't want that. Sanguinary Guard came in 5th. The lieutenant with Reaver armor needs a grav shoot, so stupid he doesn't get the option, or a grapple. I didn't realize that, Highland Phoenix, but yeah, that does seem stupid. Good evening, James Richard. How you doing? Sorry to keep asking questions. You can ask as many questions as you want. I mean, that's what I'm here for, Big Chief. Especially being a supporter, Big Chief. You've been a supporter for about 10 months at this point. You can ask any questions you want. You can ask questions in Discord. Just tag me. Anytime. Would one Contemptor work, or do I need a Tech Marine? I think that you only want to bring the Tech Marine if you have 2 Dreadnoughts. I think if you have 1 Dreadnought, you probably don't bring the Tech Marine. The Contemptors work well because they're core. So if you can have it chill out near a captain or something, you can get the reroll 1s. The Tech Marine obviously gives you the ability to hit on 2s, which is pretty nice, to be fair. But I think that part of the strength of the Tech Marine is the repairing. So I'd say like half the strength is the +1 to hit, half the strength is the repairing. But I don't think it's worth spending the points on a Tech Marine if you don't have more than 1 thing to repair, because even with 2 things to repair, sometimes if they both get killed, then you're sort of left with this Tech Marine on the battlefield, and you're kind of like, what the fuck do I do with the Tech Marine when there's nothing for him to give +1 to hit to anymore, and there's nothing for him to repair. I mean, I've ended up in games like that, having my Tech Marine go hang out with my Whirlwind, and made the Whirlwind, I made the Whirlwind +1 to hit, but it seems like a low value improvement. Camille, thank you, member for 8 months. That's super appreciated, brother. Did you see the new battle sector? It is love. I saw that they were adding Terminators and Sanguinary Guard to battle sector. I plan on playing battle sector sooner rather than later. I am saving for a new computer because I want to stream it, but my computer is a bit poo, so in the new year we'll get a new computer, and then that'll actually be good to get the new computer in the new year, because there's that Dark Tide game coming out, which I think a bunch of people have said that they're gonna get, so hopefully we can have like some viewer games, like where we'll play Dark Tide and we'll get some viewers on the in the party, because like I don't really have anyone that I play PC games with. So we'll have some nights where like we play Dark Tide, which is like a co-op shooter set, and I think you play as an Imperial Guard. And then the other game I'm actually quite excited about, and like I said, I don't play that many PC games. I probably play more FIFA than any other game at the moment, and I just play FIFA on the Switch, like when I'm looking after my daughter. What was I gonna say? A few years back I did play through all the XCOM games, and I kind of love the XCOM games, and there's that new Chaos Gate game coming out, which basically looks like XCOM, and I think it's coming out next year as well, so I'd love to, I guess it's just a turn-based, it's a bit like playing Kill Team, right? Turn-based, whatever you would call it, Kill Team style game. Like, you have a small sort of skirmish squad thing going on, and yeah, I'd love to stream that as well, so probably plan on doing that in the new year too. Alright, this guy's getting there. This guy is really getting there. I don't remember Sanguinary Guard from before, definitely on my list. Planning a simple 500 point for now. Sanguinary Guard, my 2,000 point long-term plan. Thanks for the advice. So I have another channel, Mephist. I'm just going to call you Mephist. Or Mephis? Mephis. I'm just going to call you Mephis, because I don't know how to pronounce your name. But Mephis, I have another channel, and we have a video coming out on Thursday night this week. The other channel is called 3 Grots in a Vox. I'll show you how to find it, right? Because it's maybe not got the most easy searchable name to find, right? But if you come over to, let me turn off this camera a second so you can see my desktop. Come over to the Blood Angels Commander channel. So that's just like YouTube/C/Blood Angels Commander. This is what my channel looks like when you come here, right? Scroll to the bottom here. This podcast here, 3 Grots in a Vox. This is our podcast. We only started it 3 weeks ago, so it's only got 212 subscribers. We're hoping it will grow. It will grow if lovely people like you consider subscribing to it. So if you subscribe to it, our video coming out this Thursday is all about getting started with Blood Angels. And we're going to look at it from 3 different angles, like a competitive angle, a fluffy angle, and then a third angle. So if you wanna subscribe to that and then check us out, it's usually like Thursday evening. Especially if you're thinking of getting back in and buying some new models and stuff like this. I think it should, like this week's episode, I think should genuinely help you. And I'm not just saying that to plug our channel. I think that this week's episode was purposely designed to, because I get asked a lot, like, what should I buy first? You know, I'm trying to get to 1,000 points. What would you take? Why would you take it? So this is what this week's episode is all about on our podcast. So yeah, consider subscribing over there, and yeah, if you're going to buy some Sangregard and get going, then that is going to help you as well. Mike, which one will you be playing? Sorry. The chat is a little bit delayed from when you type it and when I see it. What's next after the Contemptor? Did you finish all your Terminators? I have just off camera these intercessors that I was going to put beak helmets on and get sprayed. I wanted to do 5 more of these. My Terminators I've put on the back foot, James. I thought they were okay in the tournament, but I don't think I'm going to be playing them again for a little while. So the Terminators weren't, they're about half painted. I guess I'm okay with them staying half painted for a little while. I want to finish that squad of intercessors and cursors, sorry, that I just have off stream there. And then I actually ordered another box of Sangregard because I only have like 12 with swords and axes. Like I have a lot with power fists and I have some with plasma pistols. And I don't recommend these weapon options any longer. They were strong, they're not now, I guess. So I didn't magnetize or do anything like that when I bought my Sangregard. So I bought another squad of 5 Sangregard. So I'll probably be doing Sangregard. I feel like I'm always back doing more Sangregard. It feels like a never-ending cycle. I'm always doing more Sangregard. But I always talk about how they are most damaging unit. So I need 5 more with, like, ideally more axes than swords. But I think in the box you get 3 swords and 2 axes. So I'll probably end up making... I might have like an axe lying around, so I might be able to go 3 axes and 2 swords. I guess that's fine. But yeah, no, this guy is, I'd say this, is he ready? A couple of little bits here and there. I'm probably going to do a bunch of these, like he's got basically bolts all over his chassis. I'm probably going to paint a load of these bolts. Just because I tend to normally do that for my dreadnoughts, where like I go over all the bolts. So I'll probably paint a bunch of the bolts. But beyond that, I mean, this guy is very, very close to being just put aside and let me get onto the gun arms, I guess. Three grots on a podcast. One of my co-hosts is in the chat. I said we should call it 3 middle-aged men talking bollocks about toy soldiers. It's easier to search. Yeah, I mean that's not more difficult to search at all, right? 3 middle-aged men talking bollocks about toy soldiers. I mean, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. Howdy, Jeff. Good evening. I just saw Stephen's box list at the Blood Angels Facebook page, and it says, and he says assault squads with jump paxers MVP at the tournament he's at. Okay. Where did we put assault squads? I'm pretty sure we put them in the D tier. I mean, how's he got them armed with melta-guns? I don't even know how you would arm an assault squad with, when we math hammered out, I'm sure I converted, I'm sure I math hammered out ones with melta-guns, and like, it didn't seem that attractive. Great minds think alike, Highland Phoenix. Right. Bolt pistols and chainswords on assault squads? How is that better than Vanguard veterans? Vanguard veterans are literally 1 point more and you get 1 additional attack, right? Yeah, I mean, I'd pay 1 point more for an attack for 1 additional attack any day of the week. I mean, I know they changed the point cost in Vanguard veterans, right? But it was like what was it they changed? It used to be 1 point more. If they changed it, I thought they changed the Storm Shield to be more expensive. Did they change something else to be more expensive? Jump packs up 1 point. Okay, so the Vanguard veterans are 2 points per model more than Firstborn assault troops. I still feel like I prefer the Vanguard veterans. Yeah, I mean yeah, I don't know, I just prefer Vanguard veterans even if they were 2 points more expensive. I just don't see assault squads being that scary with... I mean, they only get 1 attack, right? So it's like the chainsword gives them 2. I quite often charge things with Vanguard veterans with lightning claws and they don't kill them, so how assault squads with chainswords with 1 less attack and no lightning claws? Yeah, you already have 6 elite choices, so attack, assault, so he needs stuff and fast attack. I mean, I guess Yeah, I mean, if you're running a shitload of Death Company, then yeah, you have to... You could also just be using them to perform stuff like Octarius Data, I guess. I'm actually interested to see if like a squad of Inceptors is just better than an Assault squad, though, you know that? Because yeah, if it was up, like, I wouldn't run Assault squads. I can't see any reason to ever run Assault squads. Vanguard veterans are an elite choice, yeah. Yeah, I thought about trying to get 3 Sangre Guard squads on my list, but yeah, in my list it comes back to the fact that I have 3 Dreadnoughts, which makes it like near impossible. Because you need the elite slots for the dreads. But you know, we could always do I could always have a look at his list. If someone wants to share his list, we can always have a look at it on one of the live streams, or we could make a tactics video about it. So someone share his list in like Discord with me, and I'll if I've got time in the next week or so, I'll try and check it out and talk about it. Did you guys see what the changes to Rod today, by the way? How about Inquisitor Karmanov? Do you have that Karmanov's model? Is that why you always mention it? Alright, it's like 10 to midnight. My eyes are actually starting to get a bit glazed over, so I'm gonna have to finish up pretty soon, because I'm gonna struggle to paint when you can't see, right? I do, but not put them together. Well, you need to put them together. You can't tell me to take them in a list if you've not put them together. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a tiny little bit of red paint for this armor section, and then I think I'm gonna call this guy done. I mean, I've got his guns to do next. But I think I am calling the actual Dreadnought body done. I'm sure it could be better, but you gotta stop somewhere, right? Crashing out. Good night, Asylum. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. We have some pretty cool ideas for grots and a vox, but yeah, feel free to send the ideas over, and like Mark and Tony will pick some of the best ones, and we'll roll with them. Tony has been planning a special Christmas episode, which should be a lot of fun. God knows when we're going to get to film it now. I need to actually check in with them because this baby arriving early, but we'll figure it out. Alright, I'm calling this Dreadnought done. Oh, I appreciate it, Clint. Yeah, all the best wishes are much appreciated. We're going down to the hospital on Monday night, and then I guess they'll find out. They'll do the surgery to get the baby out first thing on Tuesday morning, and yeah, I believe they maybe take the baby into surgery a few hours after that. So, alright, I'm just gonna put my heads on these. Because big shout out to, I think it was Mick that sent me these heads. Rod will have plowed. Yeah, so Rod is going to be replaced with basically something similar. However, Rod isn't guaranteed anymore, in that the thing that I read said that, like, when you perform Rod, you roll a d6. If the unit performing it is troops, you -1 from the result. So, like, I guess if it's a 5-man squad of incursors, roll your d6, and you subtract 1 from the number if it's troops. So if it's troop choice, it'd be like, so if you rolled a 6, you would be getting a 5, and then that number needs to be less than the number of models still alive in the unit. So I guess this is a way to combat, like, 2-man squads doing Rod, for example. So if a 2-man squad does Rod, you have to roll a d6. If they're not troops, you would then need to roll 2 or less for that to essentially work. So, like, a third of the time you would perform the action and you would not get any points. I don't know if that means you can perform the action with 2 different units and just hope that one of them successfully does it, but, like, I need to check that, I guess. Alright, the guy with the knife is likely going to be the sergeant, I think. Sometimes the sergeants can have a different wreath on their head. Oh no, oh no, I was going to say this glue's blocked. No, it's not blocked. Okay. Just took half an hour for the glue to come down the tube. That isn't the head I just cleaned up. Don't you love the smell of poly cement? Anytime I glue something with poly cement, it just brings me back to the very first place in my life that I ever glued something with poly cement, like an old little room that I had at, like, my parents' house like 25, 30 years ago. I could just picture that room clear as day whenever I smell the poly cement glue, or whatever you would call it. It used to be called poly cement. I don't think they call it that now, right? But that's what it used to be called. The Grots podcast is a great secondary podcast. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun on the Grots podcast. So we're gonna branch out. We're gonna do non-Blood Angels content over there. We're gonna just try and keep it fresh, try and keep it fun, and yeah, not take it too seriously. I know I go quite serious at times on this channel, so try and take it a little bit more chilled. And it should be pretty fun. I like incursors with beaks on, honestly. Big shout out for the guys sending me these beaks. I hope all goes well at the hospital. Our second child was an unplanned C-section, so know how stressful these things can be. I really appreciate that, brother. Yeah. I've been trying to keep myself busy this week, so like I don't have too much time to dwell on it, I guess. That seems to be the best thing. Because I think if I just had to sit around and had nothing doing, I'd just be worrying about it all the time. So, I mean, it's Sunday tomorrow, so just one more day to wait, I guess. And yeah, hopefully after the C-section, they're gonna have to. Yeah, well, we'll just find out. I'll post a thing on my community update or something like that. Let people know, you know, if there's a delay in any of the videos on the channel or whatnot. Because we usually do live games every week on this channel. Mephis. So I'm gonna have to cancel Monday night's live game for sure. Because we have to go to a hotel on Monday night. Who says Primaris models can't be cool, huh? Just need to put some beak heads on them and they're cool as shit. Alright, I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna take off for the night. I really appreciate everyone that's hanging out, and also thank you for the new people that are here for the first time. For example, Mephis, you can, if you are new here for the first time, there is a Discord and a Facebook group that we have. Those are both in the video descriptions, and you can follow them or join us on Discord. And yeah, if you want to get in touch or ask any questions or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you would consider doing that for the future. Yeah, one of these guys, which is going to be the sergeant? Knife over the head or knife? I think knife over the head. I think he's more prepared to be a sergeant. So I'm gonna have 3 squads of infiltrators after this, and I'm gonna have 3 squads of incursors and 2 squads of infiltrators. Oh no, this was the guy I was gonna make a sergeant. Oops. I really found the mold line on these incursors terrible though. They have like the worst mold line of any models I've ever made. Where's he gonna look? This way? Or this way? Yeah, this way is cooler, I think. Thanks, Mike, I appreciate it. I want beaky beaks. Yeah, I like the beakies. I usually do like Death Company and stuff in beakies, but this is the second Primaris squad I've gone full beakies on, and I'm digging it. I'm loving it. I don't know, I mean, the problem with beaks is they're so expensive normally, it's kind of hard to get a hold of them, but some people on the channel hooked me up, so that's really nice. But cool. So no live game tomorrow, guys. Sorry, live army show will be on tomorrow as normal, but no live game on Monday night. So I'll let you know as soon as I know what's happening, and when I'm here I will let you know in the community section. I'll probably let you guys know in Discord as well. Hopefully we'll get a live game the following week though, because I do have the semi-final at Plastic Crackhouse tournament to play, so hopefully I'll get to play that. I just have to sort out some babysitting and stuff. But yeah, thanks for all the well wishes, it's super appreciated. Thank you for the new members tonight. There was a couple of new members or re-memberships to expired members. Both are super appreciated, so thank you for that. And yeah, I am keen to keep playing that army list that I crushed Kev with this past Tuesday, because the 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard feel nice, the 2 Contemptors feel really nice as well. I think the Impulsor, actually, I don't know if you guys watched the video on Tuesday, sorry, against the Eldar. The Impulsor actually helped quite a lot as well. So I'm keen to keep trying that list and see if we can make it a bit better for my next GT. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys, I'm sure, pretty soon. By the blood, Army Mage Strong. Peace.